Welcome to Business Acumen. Your host, Joe Mans and Roy Browning. Today we're discussing lead lists. Is it a waste of money to buy your leads, or is it a worthy investment?
Waste of money.
Completely waste of money.
In my opinion, I would rather spend money on buying ad space to drive people to get my own leads than buying somebody else's dusty old dirty leads.
Okay, well, I'm going to disagree with you on that one, Roy, because I think that there are quality data warehouses out there that collect quality information. I really do believe that it comes down to picking the right vendor to source your lead list.
I can understand that, but with how fast things are changing, if you're buying an address, people don't change their address as regularly. That data can last a longer time, but in the digital environment, stuff is changing so rapidly that something that somebody's interested in today, for example, buying lawn seed for their yard, they already bought their lawn seed 2 days from the time that they first saw it.
Sure.
That data isn't any good anymore. I'm not interested in buying seed anymore. Now I'm interested in fertilizer. That is useless.
Well, it comes back to having a solid plan, though. I mean, if you know who you're looking for, what they look like, and really narrow down who your target audience is, again, find the right vendor to give you those leads. There are people that go out to trade shows or any industrial event. They collect leads from that particular group of people, and then they sell that data to people like you and I who are going to run the ads. So if you're going to run your ads, and which I think is a valid point, but don't you got to know who you're targeting? I mean, if you're going to run ad campaigns to target certain people, the more we know about them, including their address, we can triangulate that data and make sure that we're hitting our target more precisely.
I mean, I could see that from a broad point of view, especially if you're targeting income levels or neighborhoods or things that are common, right? Somebody that goes to the same high school, they're going to, for 4 years, they're going to be interested in the same thing. I do think that there's a fine balance between real-time data, which you can only collect by getting somebody to fill out a lead form saying, this is what I'm interested in right now, remarketing data where they've already visited your website and you've captured that and you're hitting them again within the next day or two. There are some instances where data may last longer, like I mentioned with the addresses.
Right.
But in general, I would say that personally, I would prefer to do an ad campaign if I have the time, gather my own first-party data, because I'm going to have a higher ROI with my first-party data than I will with third-party.
I don't think that there's any argument that first-party data is more reliable than third-party data. Anybody who's building a lead list, by the time that they consolidate it and then market it and then the time you buy it, there's going to be a little bit of attrition there. But I think in general, though, there are quality lead lists out there that are available for purchase that you can really show some ROI. If you compare it to first-party, I don't think that there's really any comparison to that. In the digital advertising space, we rely on third-party data a whole lot. In fact, whenever we build digital ad campaigns and we want to target, we can go down to categories, in fact. And that category data is based on a profile that lives in the cloud somewhere that is a consolidation of first-party data. In other words, how a user is navigating the web, but also the information they provide through lead source collection points. So that data is good, and I would almost, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and make the statement that I think the data can be more reliable if you get it from a good source than it ever has been. Because if you take that tangible data that people are collecting on paper lead cards at certain events and you combine that with the digital sources that are collecting data and putting all those pieces together, that data is going to be more reliable than it ever has been before.
Yeah, more data points means more consistency.
Correct.
All day long.
So I'm going to stand by my statement that third-party lead procurement is reliable if you have a plan on how to use it and you have a reliable source to procure it.
You know, I will agree with you that the right vendor with the right data can be valuable. I think we both agree that first party will be the ideal, but if you can't have the ideal, then third party with the right vendor is a great place to start.
We'd love to know if you agree with me or with Roy or the both of us. Either way, we'd love to hear your feedback. So send us a note or comment below. We look forward to seeing you next time. Welcome to the Sum It Up section of our episode today. Whether you agree with us or disagree with us, there's no right or wrong answer to this, but what we can agree on today, Roy, is that there's a time and place for list procurement. First-party data is always more reliable than third-party data. So if you have your own list, use it. If you're going to procure a third-party lead list, be sure you do your research. Be sure you have a plan to execute.
Yeah, pick the right vendor. It really comes down to how old that data is, how much do they keep it up. You don't
Reliability is everything, right?
Absolutely. You don't want to buy old data.
All right. Thanks for joining us. All right, now we're to our Q&A section. This is where viewers like you write in, give us your questions, and we try to answer them the best that we can. This question is from Ashley K. She says, I'm in the real estate industry, and our company provides our sales team with purchase leads. We rarely see above a 2% conversion rate from our email campaigns. How would you recommend we utilize these leads to increase our chance of converting? Roy?
I think this comes down to a couple different elements. One being, are all of those leads in the same stage of the buying cycle? If somebody's just thinking about listing their house or somebody just bought their house, that could be a big thing. We mentioned earlier in the episode that the length of time that data has sat in that person's warehouse could be a big thing. If there's been even 30 days between the time that they got that lead and now, that person could have already sold their house. So especially in the real estate industry, that could be a big thing. So one, I would say the length of time that lead has been there. Ask questions. Send an email out that asks a question. Are you still interested in buying a new house? Are you still interested in selling your house? And then from there, maybe you can segment those leads into more particular targeted audiences. Those who just bought a house, maybe there's something you want to do to stay top of mind with that person. Somebody who's interested in selling their house, that's definitely somebody that is going to be a key audience. Somebody who's in the middle of buying, maybe they already have a real estate agent. What I've found is that if you send information about things that they should know during the process, even if they're not using you, they're going to remember you the next time. Or they might tell their friends who are getting ready to buy a house, oh, hey, such and such real estate agent told me about ABC. It was really helpful. Maybe you should consider them.
So what you're talking about is further qualifying the leads that are on the list that's being procured, see where they are in the purchase process, and then taking it from there.
Exactly.
I love it. That's great feedback. We'd love to hear your questions, whether it's about this episode or one in the past. So leave your comments below. We'll see if we can get to them for you. We hope we can. Yep. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
To learn more, follow us online at summitup.biz. If you found value in this podcast, please leave us a review. See you next time.